The unveiling. Earth's Juggernaut revealed. The vast expanse of space had always been a source of wonder and mystery for humanity. For centuries, we gazed up at the stars, dreaming of what lay beyond our terrestrial borders. Little did we know that our first venture into the galactic community would shake the very foundations of interstellar politics. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood at the helm of the ESS Titan, Earth's first true interstellar vessel. The product of decades of secret research and development, the Titan represented the pinnacle of human engineering and innovation. Its sleek, obsidian hull concealed technologies that even the most advanced alien civilizations would envy. Status report, Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the nervous energy coursing through her veins. Lieutenant James Chen, her second in command, responded promptly. All systems nominal, Commander. We're approaching the coordinates for the Galactic Council's headquarters. Elena nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the viewscreen before her. The Titan's quantum drive had allowed them to traverse vast distances in mere moments, a feat that would soon send shockwaves through the galaxy. As they neared their destination, a massive structure came into view. The Galactic Council's headquarters was a marvel of alien engineering, a sprawling space station that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its crystalline spires and sweeping arches glittered in the light of nearby stars, a testament to the advanced civilizations that called this part of the galaxy home. Incoming transmission, announced Communications Officer Zara Patel, her fingers dancing across her console. It's from the Council. Elena took a deep breath. This was the moment they had prepared for. On screen, she ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a diverse array of alien faces. Some were vaguely humanoid, while others were utterly foreign in appearance. At the center sat a regal-looking being with iridescent scales and piercing golden eyes. Unidentified vessel. The alien spoke, its voice translated by the Titan's advanced systems. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourself immediately. Elena stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. I am Commander Elena Rodriguez of the Earth spaceship Titan. We come in peace, seeking dialogue with the Galactic Council. A ripple of surprise passed through the alien delegates. Earth was a name they had heard whispered in the darkest corners of the galaxy, a primitive world on the fringes of explored space. Yet here was a ship of clearly advanced design, piloted by beings who, until now, had been considered little more than savages. The scaled alien, who Elena presumed to be the Council's leader, leaned forward. Earth, we were unaware your species had achieved interstellar travel. How did you find us? Elena allowed herself a small smile. We have our ways, Counselor. Perhaps it's time for Earth to take its place on the galactic stage. The alien's eyes narrowed. Very well. You may dock at Bay 17. A delegation will meet you there. As the transmission ended, Elena turned to her crew. This is it, people. Remember your training. We're about to make history. The Titan glided smoothly into the designated docking bay, its size dwarfing the other vessels present. As the airlock cycled, Elena led a small team onto the station. They were greeted by a group of aliens, their expressions a mix of curiosity and wariness. A tall, willowy being with luminous skin stepped forward. Welcome to the Galactic Council headquarters. I am Ambassador Xylana of the Luminar Conclave. We are surprised by your arrival. Elena nodded respectfully. Thank you for your welcome, Ambassador. We understand our presence here is unexpected. Earth has long operated in secrecy, developing our technology away from prying eyes. Xylana's bioluminescent patterns flickered, a sign of agitation. Secrecy. But how? Our surveillance networks are not as comprehensive as you believed, Elena finished. But we're not here to boast. We seek peaceful cooperation and exchange with the galactic community. As they walked through the station's sweeping corridors, Elena could feel the weight of countless alien gazes upon them. News of their arrival had spread quickly, and delegates from various species lined the walkways, whispering among themselves. They entered a vast chamber, its domed ceiling adorned with holographic representations of countless star systems. The Galactic Council, in all its diversity, sat arrayed before them. The scaled being Elena had seen earlier rose to address them. "I am High Counselor Zarthak. Your arrival has caused quite a stir, Commander Rodriguez. We find ourselves in an unprecedented situation." Elena stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. "High Counselor, esteemed members of the Council, Earth extends its hand in friendship. We have achieved much in our isolation, but we recognize that true growth comes through cooperation and mutual understanding." Murmurs rippled through the assembled aliens. A bulbous creature with multiple eye stalks spoke up, its voice tinged with suspicion. "If you come in peace, why arrive in a warship? We may be unfamiliar with your technology, but we recognize a weapon when we see one." Elena had anticipated this question. The Titan is indeed capable of defending itself, but its primary purpose is exploration and diplomacy. In a galaxy full of unknown dangers, we believed it prudent to be prepared. Zarthak's tail twitched, a sign of agitation. "You speak of peace, yet you have developed in secret, amassing power without oversight. How can we trust your intentions?" "Trust is earned, High Counselor," Elena replied. "We're here to begin that process. As a show of good faith, we're prepared to share some of our technological advancements with the Council." The chamber erupted in excited chatter. The prospect of new technology, especially from a species that had managed to surprise them so thoroughly, was tantalizing. Tylana, who had remained silent until now, spoke up. "Commander, while your offer is generous, it raises more questions than it answers. How did Earth achieve such advancements without detection? And what else might you be hiding?" Elena met the ambassador's gaze steadily. "Earth has faced many challenges in its history, Ambassador. We learned early on that knowledge is power, and secrecy can be a shield. But we're ready to lower that shield, to join the galactic community as equals." As the discussion continued, tension in the chamber grew. Some council members were eager to embrace this new potential ally, while others saw Earth as a threat to the established order. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. A harried aide rushed into the chamber, whispering urgently to Zarthak. The High Counselor's scales paled visibly. "Commander Rodriguez," Zarthak said, his voice tight with barely contained panic, "a fleet of unknown vessels has just appeared at the edge of our system. They match no known configuration in our database." Elena's heart raced, but she maintained her composure. "High Counselor, with your permission, the Titan stands ready to assist in any way we can." Zarthak hesitated, weighing his options. Finally, he nodded. "Very well, Commander. It seems we will see the true measure of Earth's capabilities sooner than expected." As Elena and her team rushed back to the Titan, the station was a flurry of activity. Alien diplomats scrambled for safety, while defense forces mobilized. Back on the bridge of the Titan, Elena took her place at the command chair. Status report. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over his console. "Multiple vessels detected, Commander. Energy signatures off the charts. They're not answering hails." Elena's mind raced. This was not how she had envisioned Earth's debut on the galactic stage, but perhaps it was an opportunity to prove their worth. "All hands, battle stations," she ordered. "Let's show the galaxy what humanity is capable of." As the Titan moved into position, its advanced sensors gathering data on the unknown threat, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Earth's secret was out, and the Juggernaut was about to be unleashed. The galaxy would never be the same again. Rising tensions, diplomacy and deception. The aftermath of the battle left the Galactic Council in a state of shock. The unknown fleet, later identified as a rogue faction of the militant Zarkan Empire, had been swiftly and decisively defeated by the ESS Titan. Earth's Juggernaut had lived up to its name, displaying firepower and defensive capabilities that outstripped anything the Council had ever seen. In the days that followed, The council chambers buzzed with heated debates and whispered conspiracies. Earth, once dismissed as a backwater world, now stood at the center of galactic politics. Commander Elena Rodriguez found herself thrust into the role of diplomat, navigating the treacherous waters of interstellar relations. She stood before the council, her uniform crisp and her posture resolute. "Members of the council," she began, her voice carrying across the chamber, "Earth understands your concerns. Our sudden appearance and the power we've demonstrated have upset the balance you've long maintained. But I assure you, our intentions are peaceful." High Counselor Zarthak, his scales shimmering with an iridescent sheen of uncertainty, leaned forward. "Your actions in defending this station were commendable, Commander. But they also revealed the true extent of your capabilities. How can we be certain you won't use this power to dominate the galaxy?" Elena had anticipated this question. "High Counselor, if domination were our goal, we would not have revealed ourselves. We seek cooperation, not conquest. Earth is prepared to share some of our advancements, particularly in the fields of medicine and sustainable energy." A murmur of interest rippled through the assembled delegates. Ambassador Xylana of the Luminar Conclave spoke up, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with curiosity. "This is a generous offer, Commander. But it raises the question, what do you seek in return?" "Knowledge, Ambassador," Elena replied. "Earth may have advanced in certain areas, but we recognize that each species in this council possesses unique insights and technologies. We propose an exchange of information for the betterment of all." As the council debated the proposal, Elena couldn't help but notice the calculating looks exchanged between some of the delegates. She knew that Earth's arrival had upset more than just the political balance. It had disrupted long-standing alliances and trade agreements. In the weeks that followed, Earth established its first official embassy on the council station. Dr. Aisha Patel, a brilliant xenobiologist and diplomat, was appointed as Earth's ambassador. Elena watched from the Titan as Aisha's shuttle docked, feeling a mix of pride and apprehension. "She'll do fine," Lieutenant Chen reassured her, sensing her unease. Helena nodded. "I know. I just can't shake the feeling that we're walking into a nest of tigers." Her instincts proved correct. While many species welcomed the opportunity to engage with Earth, others viewed the newcomers with suspicion and fear. Reports began to filter in of covert operations aimed at uncovering Earth's secrets. In a secure conference room aboard the Titan, Elena met with her senior staff and a holographic projection of Ambassador Patel. "We've detected multiple attempts to scan the Titan systems," Lieutenant Chen reported. "They're getting bolder." Aisha's hologram nodded grimly. "It's not just the ship they're after. I've had 3 separate diplomatic aides try to access my personal files. They're fishing for any information they can get on Earth's defenses and capabilities." Elena's jaw tightened. "We expected some of this, but the scale of these operations is concerning. Have you been able to identify the main actors behind these attempts?" "It's a mixed bag," Aisha replied. "The Zarkan Empire is an obvious suspect, given their recent aggression. But I've also picked up chatter implicating the Vex Consortium, and surprisingly, the Luminar Conclave." This last bit of information caught Elena off guard. The Luminars had seemed the most open to cooperation. "Ambassador Xylana." Aisha shook her head. "No evidence linking her directly, but someone high up in their hierarchy is definitely involved." As they discussed countermeasures, a priority alert flashed across the main screen. Lieutenant Zora Patel, the communications officer, quickly brought up the message. "Commander, we're receiving a distress call from a human research outpost in the Theta sector," she reported. "They're under attack by unknown forces." Elena's mind raced. The Theta sector was on the fringes of explored space, far from the Council's usual sphere of influence. The existence of the outpost wasn't public knowledge. "This is no coincidence," she said, her voice hard. "Someone leaked information about our operations. Prep the Titan for immediate departure. Ambassador Patel, can you handle things here?" Aisha nodded firmly. "Go." I'll keep the Council occupied and try to ferret out our leak." As the Titan prepared to jump to the Theta sector, Elena couldn't shake a sense of foreboding. They had hoped for a peaceful integration into the galactic community, but it seemed that conflict was inevitable. The journey to Theta sector was tense. The Titan's quantum drive allowed them to cover vast distances quickly, but Elena feared they might already be too late. As they dropped out of quantum space, the scene that greeted them confirmed her worst fears. The research outpost, a state-of-the-art facility dedicated to studying an unusual stellar phenomenon, was under heavy bombardment. A fleet of sleek, predatory ships surrounded the station, their weapons leaving scorch marks on its reinforced hull. "Life signs," Elena demanded. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over his console, faint but present. "The station's defenses are holding, but they won't last much longer." Elena's mind worked quickly, assessing the situation. Hail the attacking fleet. Let's see who we're dealing with. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a face that sent a chill down Elena's spine. The alien commander bore a striking resemblance to the Luminar, but where Ambassador Xylana's features were soft and luminous, this being's were sharp and cold. "This is Commander Elena Rodriguez of the ESS Titan. Cease your attack immediately and withdraw from this sector." The alien's eyes narrowed, bioluminescent patterns pulsing with barely contained rage. "I am Subcommander Zixlian of the Luminar Purity Front. This facility contains abominations, the result of unholy experimentation. It must be cleansed." Elena's mind reeled. A radical faction of the Luminars. This complicated matters significantly. "Sub-Commander, I assure you there are no abominations here. This is a scientific research station. Stand down, or we will be forced to defend our people." Zixlian's face contorted into a sneer. "Your deceptions end here, human. We know of your genetic experiments, your attempts to splice Luminar DNA with your own inferior stock. You will not be allowed to corrupt our purity." Before Elena could respond, Zixlian cut the transmission. The enemy fleet began to reorient, bringing their weapons to bear on the Titan. "Battle stations," Elena commanded. "Target their weapon systems. Let's show them why they call this ship a Juggernaut." The space around the research station erupted into chaos as the Titan engaged the Luminar fleet. Energy beams lanced out, met by the Titan's advanced shielding. Return fire from Earth's flagship was precise and devastating, disabling enemy ships without destroying them outright. As the battle raged, Elena's mind worked overtime. How had the Luminar Purity Front learned of this facility? And more importantly, how had they discovered the true nature of the research being conducted there? The integration of alien DNA into the human genome was one of Earth's most closely guarded secrets. It was a project born of necessity, an attempt to enhance human physiology to better withstand the rigors of deep space exploration. But in the wrong hands, this knowledge could be twisted into a powerful propaganda tool against Earth. As the last of the enemy ships went dark, their systems disabled by the Titan's pinpoint attacks, Elena allowed herself a moment of relief. But she knew this was only the beginning. "Secure the enemy vessels," she ordered. "I want prisoners for questioning, and get a medical team to that station immediately." As the Titan's crew carried out her orders, Elena retreated to her ready room. She had some urgent calls to make. Earth's leaders needed to be informed of this development, and Ambassador Paddle would need to be briefed on the true nature of the Luminar threat. The game had changed. What started as a hopeful first contact had devolved into a web of espionage, hidden agendas, and now, open conflict. Earth had wanted to join the galactic community as equals, but it seemed they would have to fight for their place among the stars. As Elena prepared to face the challenges ahead, she couldn't help but wonder, in this vast, complex galaxy, who could they truly trust? The line between ally and enemy had never been so blurred, and the stakes had never been higher. Earth's future hung in the balance, and it would take all of humanity's ingenuity, determination, and the awesome power of the Juggernaut to secure it. The spark. First engagement. The aftermath of the Theta Sector incident sent shockwaves through the galactic community. Earth's swift and decisive victory over the Luminar Purity Front had demonstrated not only their military prowess, but also the existence of a schism within one of the Council's most respected species. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood before the Galactic Council once again, but this time the atmosphere was charged with tension and barely concealed hostility. High Counselor Zarthak's voice boomed across the chamber. Commander Rodriguez, you stand accused of unauthorized military action against a sovereign species. How do you answer these charges? Elena's voice was steady as she replied. With all due respect, High Counselor, we responded to a distress call from our own people. The Luminar Purity Front was attacking a civilian research facility. Our actions were in self-defense and in defense of our citizens. Ambassador Xylana of the Luminar Conclave stepped forward, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with a mix of shame and anger. We do not deny the existence of this radical faction, but their actions do not represent the will of the Luminar people. Your disproportionate response has caused irreparable harm to our relations. Elena's eyes narrowed. Ambassador, we have evidence that suggests the Purity Front had inside information about our facility. Information that could only have come from high-ranking sources within the Luminar government. A hushed murmur rippled through the council chamber. Phylana's luminescence flickered erratically, a clear sign of distress. Before the argument could escalate further, a new voice cut through the tension. Perhaps we are overlooking the real issue here. All eyes turned to the speaker, a towering insectoid being known as Vexalia of the Vex Consortium. Her compound eyes gleamed with intelligence as she continued. The humans have demonstrated capabilities far beyond what we assumed. This Juggernaut program of theirs poses a significant threat to the balance of power in our galaxy. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. This was the moment she had feared, when Earth's technological advancements would be seen not as an opportunity for cooperation, but as a threat to be neutralized. High Counselor Zarthak nodded gravely. Vexalia speaks wisdom. Commander Rodriguez, the Council demands full disclosure of Earth's military capabilities and unrestricted access to your technology. Elena's mind raced. She knew this demand was coming, but the reality of it still stung. High Counselor, Earth has already offered to share many of our advancements, but we cannot and will not compromise our security by revealing all of our capabilities. The chamber erupted into chaos, with various delegates shouting accusations and demands. Elena stood firm, her resolve unshaken. As the uproar continued, she caught sight of Ambassador Aisha Patel at the back of the room, giving her a subtle nod. Their contingency plan was in motion. Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flickered, and a holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room. It showed a massive fleet of ships emerging from quantum space near a heavily populated Vex Consortium world. Vexalia's mandibles clicked in alarm. What is the meaning of this? Those are Zarkan warships. High Counselor Zarthak's scales rippled with shock. Impossible. We have no ongoing military operations in that sector. As confusion reigned, Elena's voice cut through the noise. This is happening right now. A Zarkan battle fleet is on an attack vector towards the Vex homeworld of Hive Prime. Their quantum signatures match those of the ships that attacked the Council headquarters when we first arrived. The revelation hit the Council like a shockwave. The Zarkan Empire, while known for its militaristic tendencies, had been a stable, if somewhat aggressive, member of the galactic community. This unprovoked attack on a major power was unprecedented. Vexalia turned to Elena, her compound eyes reflecting a mix of fear and desperation. Commander, your ship, your Juggernaut. Can it intercept this fleet? Elena nodded solemnly. The Titan stands ready to assist, but will need support. This is a threat to all of us, not just the Vex Consortium. High Counselor Zarthak, realizing the gravity of the situation, made a quick decision. Very well. I'm authorizing a joint defense force. Commander Rodriguez will lead the operation, with support from Luminar and Vex ships. As the Council scrambled to organize their response, Alina hurried back to the Titan. Her crew was already at battle stations, primed and ready for action. Lieutenant Chen looked up from his console as Alina entered the bridge. "Commander, we've got the tactical data on the Zarkan fleet. They outnumber us significantly." Alina's lips curled into a determined smile. "Numbers aren't everything, Lieutenant. It's time to show them what this ship can really do." The Titan, accompanied by a hastily assembled fleet of Luminar and Vex vessels, jumped to quantum space. The journey to Hive Prime was tense, with Alina coordinating strategy with the alien commanders. As they dropped out of quantum space near Hive Prime, the scene that greeted them was one of chaos. The Zarkan fleet had already engaged the planet's orbital defenses, their energy weapons carving fiery swaths through space. "All ships, form up on the Titan," Alina commanded. "Vex cruisers, focus on protecting the civilian evacuation ships. Luminar vessels, use your stealth technology to flank the enemy. We'll draw their fire." The battle that ensued was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Titan moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, its advanced point defense systems creating an impenetrable barrier around itself and nearby Allied ships. Its main cannons fired salvos of energy that seemed to bend space itself, bypassing enemy shields and disabling Zarkan ships with pinpoint accuracy. But the Zarkan fleet was vast, and for every ship they disabled, two more seemed to take its place. The Allied forces found themselves slowly being pushed back towards Hive Prime's atmosphere. "Commander," Lieutenant Chen called out, his voice tense, "we're detecting a massive energy buildup in the Zarkan flagship. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Alina's blood ran cold as she saw the readings. Whatever weapon the Zarkan were charging, it had the potential to crack the planet's crust. Millions would die instantly, with millions more perishing in the aftermath. In that moment, Alina made a decision that would change the course of the battle and the future of Earth's place in the galaxy. "Divert all power to the quantum displacement drive," she ordered. "We're going to jump inside their formation." Her crew looked at her in shock, but quickly moved to comply. What Alina was proposing was theoretically possible with the Titan's advanced technology, but it had never been attempted in combat. As the Zarkan weapon reached critical levels, the Titan vanished in a flash of quantum energy, reappearing seconds later in the heart of the enemy fleet, directly alongside the massive flagship. "All power to weapons," Alina shouted. "Target that energy buildup and fire everything we've got." The Titan unleashed its full arsenal, a dazzling display of destructive power that overwhelmed the flagship's defenses. The Zarkan superweapon destabilized, the resulting explosion taking out a significant portion of their fleet. In the confusion that followed, the Allied forces pressed their advantage. Luminar stealth ships struck from the shadows, while Vex swarm fighters harried the larger Zarkan vessels. At the center of it all, the Titan moved with deadly precision, its weapons systematically dismantling the once mighty invasion force. As the last Zarkan ships fled or surrendered, a cheer went up across the Allied fleet. Against all odds, they had emerged victorious. But Alina knew that this was only the beginning. The battle for Hive Prime had been won, but the war for Earth's place in the galaxy was far from over. As she looked out at the starfield, littered with the debris of battle, she couldn't help but wonder what challenges lay ahead. The Titan had proven its worth, and humanity had shown that it could stand toe-to-toe with the greatest powers in the galaxy. But with great power came great responsibility, and even greater danger. The eyes of the galaxy were now firmly fixed on Earth, and Alina knew that their every move would be scrutinized. As the Titan prepared to return to the Council headquarters, Alina sent a coded transmission to Earth. "Phase 1 complete," it read. "Initiating diplomatic offensive." The pieces were in place. Earth had demonstrated its military might. Now it was time to show the galaxy that humans could be not just fearsome warriors, but also invaluable allies. The real challenge was just beginning. Alliances and betrayals. The galaxy divides. The Galactic Council chambers were abuzz with activity. In the wake of the Hive Prime incident, the political landscape of the galaxy had shifted dramatically. Earth, once an unknown factor, now stood at the center of a rapidly evolving web of alliances and enmities. Commander Elena Rodriguez, now hailed as the hero of Hive Prime, stood beside Ambassador Aisha Patel as they faced the Council. The atmosphere was tense, filled with a mix of admiration, fear, and barely concealed resentment. High Counselor Zarthak spoke, his voice carrying across the chamber. The Council has convened this special session to address the recent events and their implications for galactic stability. Ambassador Patel, you have the floor. Aisha stepped forward, her posture confident but not arrogant. Esteemed members of the Council, the battle at Hive Prime has demonstrated beyond doubt that the threats we face are greater than any one species can handle alone. Earth proposes a new alliance, one that will bring together the strengths of all our peoples to ensure peace and security for all. A murmur rippled through the assembled delegates. Vexulia of the Vex Consortium was the first to respond. The Vex owe a great debt to Earth and the crew of the Titan. Without their intervention, our homeworld might have been lost. We support this proposal. Ambassador Xylana of the Luminar Conclave nodded in agreement. The Luminar, too, recognized the value of Earth's assistance. However, we have concerns about the level of technology humans possess. Such power, unchecked, could be a threat to us all. Elena stepped forward, her voice clear and resolute. We understand your concerns, Ambassador. That's why Earth is prepared to share more of our advancements, particularly in defensive technologies. We believe that by raising the defensive capabilities of all species, we can create a more stable and peaceful galaxy. As discussions continued, it became clear that the Council was divided. Many species, impressed by Earth's actions and enticed by the promise of advanced technology, were eager to ally themselves with the newcomers. Others, however, saw humanity's rising influence as a threat to their own power and interests. The Zarkan Empire, humiliated by their defeat at Hive Prime, vehemently opposed any alliance with Earth. Their representative, a scared warrior named Krovak, snarled his disapproval. The humans are upstarts, lucky children playing with powers they don't understand. To trust them is to invite our own destruction. Despite such opposition, the tide seemed to be turning in Earth's favor. As the session concluded, a tentative agreement was reached to form a new defensive pact, with Earth playing a central role. As Elena and Aisha left the Council chambers, they were approached by a hooded figure. The being revealed itself to be Zix, a member of a secretive species known as the Whisper Collective. Commander, Ambassador, Zix's voice was barely above a whisper. We have information you need to hear. Not all is as it seems within the Council. Intrigued and wary, Elena and Aisha followed Zix to a secure location. There, the Whisper agent revealed a startling truth. A shadow organization, composed of elements from multiple species, had been working behind the scenes to manipulate galactic politics for centuries. They call themselves the Eternal Concordat, Zix explained. They see humanity's rise as a threat to their control. Be warned, they will stop at nothing to undermine your efforts. This revelation added a new layer of complexity to an already challenging situation. As Elena and Aisha digested this information, they realized that their enemies were not just those who opposed them openly, but also hidden forces working from the shadows. Over the following weeks, the newly formed alliance began to take shape. Earth shared some of its defensive technologies, helping to upgrade the shields and armor of their ally ships. In return, they gained access to a wealth of scientific and cultural knowledge from across the galaxy. The Titan, now recognized as a symbol of Earth's power and commitment, became the flagship of the Alliance's joint fleet. Elena found herself not just a ship commander, but a leader of a diverse group of alien officers, each bringing unique skills and perspectives to their mission. However, as their influence grew, so did the opposition. Mysterious attacks on Alliance outposts and ships began to occur with increasing frequency. Attempts at sabotage and espionage became commonplace, testing the trust between the newly allied species. One particular incident stood out. During a diplomatic mission to a neutral world, Elena and a team of Alliance representatives found themselves ambushed by a group of mercenaries. The attack was well coordinated and seemed to have inside information about their mission. As energy weapons fire rained down around them, Elena's tactical mind kicked into high gear. She organized the diverse group of aliens into an effective fighting force, using each species' unique abilities to their advantage. Vexillia, who had insisted on joining the mission, proved invaluable. Her species' natural agility and exoskeleton made her an excellent scout. "Commander," she chittered excitedly, "I've identified their command post. It's heavily guarded, but there's a weak point in their perimeter." Elena nodded, formulating a plan. "Exilvin," she addressed a Luminar security officer, "can your bioluminescence create a diversion?" The Luminar's skin pulsed with anticipation. "It would be my honor, Commander." As Exilvin created a dazzling light show to distract the mercenaries, Elena led a small strike team to flank their position. The ensuing battle was fierce but short. With their superior tactics and teamwork, the Alliance forces quickly overwhelmed the attackers. In the aftermath, as they sifted through the mercenaries' equipment, they made a chilling discovery. The weapons and technology used in the attack were a mix of various species, including some that were supposedly their allies. "This confirms Zix's warning," Aisha said grimly. "The Eternal Concordat is real, and they're actively working against us." Elena's face hardened with resolve. "Then we need to root them out. But we have to be careful. If we start accusing council members without solid proof, we could fracture the Alliance before it's even fully formed." As they returned to the council headquarters, Elena and Aisha found themselves walking a political tightrope. They had to strengthen their alliances and continue to prove Earth's value to the galactic community, while secretly working to uncover the extent of the Eternal Concordat's influence. The situation came to a head when a routine upgrade of the Council's main defense grid went catastrophically wrong. Systems crashed, leaving the headquarters vulnerable. As panic spread, accusations flew. Many blamed Earth, suggesting that their technology was either faulty or deliberately sabotage. As Elena and her team raced to fix the problem, they discovered the truth. The system crash had been caused by a hidden virus, one that bore the hallmarks of Zarkin cyber warfare techniques. With time running out and the threat of an attack looming, Elena made a risky decision. She ordered the Titan to link directly with the Council's systems, using the ship's advanced AI to purge the virus and restore defenses. The gambit worked, but at a cost. To interface with the Council systems, Elena had to reveal more about the Titan's capabilities than she had ever intended. As the crisis passed, she knew that they had won the battle but potentially exposed themselves to greater danger. In the Council session that followed, the division in the galaxy was stark. Earth's actions had saved them all, but the level of technology displayed had many species terrified. The Zarkin vehemently denied any involvement in the cyber attack, accusing Earth of staging the incident to showcase their power. As arguments raged, Elena stood before the Council, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We face a threat greater than any one of us. Whether you choose to believe it or not, there are forces working to divide us, to keep us weak and at each other's throats. Earth didn't come here to conquer or to dominate. We came to join a community of stars, to learn and to share. But if we must, we will stand alone against the darkness that threatens us all." Her words hung in the air, their impact visible on the faces of the delegates. Some nodded in agreement, their resolve strengthened. Others turned away, fear or suspicion in their eyes. As the session ended, the galaxy stood at crossroads. The lines were drawn, alliances forged and broken. Earth had made its stand, but the true test was yet to come. The Eternal Concordat was moving in the shadows, and the Zarkan were biding their time. waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Elena knew that the coming conflict would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of the entire galaxy. As she looked out at the stars from the Titan's observation deck, she steeled herself for the challenges ahead. Humanity had fought its way to the galactic stage. Now, they would have to fight to remain there. Humanity's stand, the final confrontation. The galaxy stood on the brink of all-out war. Months of rising tensions, covert operations, and political maneuvering had led to this moment. The Eternal Concordat, its existence now confirmed, had played its hand. Allied with the Zarkan Empire and several other species fearful of Earth's growing influence, they launched a massive coordinated attack against Earth and its allies. Commander Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the ESS Titan, her face illuminated by the glow of tactical displays. The ship, now bearing scars from numerous battles, hummed with energy as it prepared for what could be its final confrontation. Status report, Elena commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Lieutenant Chen, his uniform crisp despite the chaos around them, responded quickly. The enemy fleet has just dropped out of quantum space, Commander. They've positioned themselves between us and Earth. Their numbers are substantial. Elena nodded grimly. The tactical display showed a sea of red, enemy ships stretching as far as the eye could see. The Allied fleet, while formidable, was vastly outnumbered. Open a channel to the fleet, Elena ordered. As the communication officer complied, she took a deep breath, knowing her next words could determine the fate of not just humanity, but all the species who had stood with them. This is Commander Rodriguez to all Allied ships. The moment we've prepared for is here. The enemy thinks their superior numbers guarantee victory. They believe that by striking at Earth, they can crush our spirit and divide our alliance. They're wrong. She paused, her eyes sweeping across her bridge crew, seeing determination reflected in their faces. We'd faced overwhelming odds before and emerged victorious. We've shown the galaxy that it's not the size of the fleet that matters, but the courage and ingenuity of those who crew it. Earth stands ready to defend not just ourselves, but all free peoples of the galaxy. Today, we make our stand. Today, we show them what humanity is truly capable of. All ships, battle formations. Engage on my mark. As Elena concluded her speech, a chorus of affirmations flooded the comm channels. Ships from a dozen different species moved into position, their crews united in purpose. The enemy fleet, led by a massive Zarkan dreadnought, began their advance. Energy weapons flared across the void, met by the advanced shielding of the Allied ships. Evasive maneuvers, Elena commanded. Concentrate fire on their lead ships. Let's disrupt their formation. The battle that ensued was unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. The Titan moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, its weapons striking with pinpoint accuracy. Allied ships coordinated their efforts seamlessly, each species contributing their unique strengths to the fight. But the enemy's numbers were telling. For every ship they destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. The Allied line began to buckle under the relentless assault. As the battle raged, Elena received an urgent communication from Earth. Ambassador Aisha Patel's hologram appeared on the bridge, her face etched with concern. Commander, we've received a transmission from the enemy flagship. It's the leader of the Eternal Concordat. They're demanding our immediate surrender, or they claim they'll use some kind of super weapon capable of rendering Earth uninhabitable. Elena's mind raced. Was this a bluff, or did they truly possess such a weapon? She couldn't take the risk. Patch me through to their flagship, she ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being unlike any Elena had seen before. It appeared to be a fusion of organic and mechanical parts, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly intelligence. I am Axiom, the Eternal Guardian, the being intoned, its voice a discordant mixture of organic and synthetic tones. Your species' meteoric rise threatens the careful balance we have maintained for eons. Surrender now, and your people may yet have a place in our new order." Alina's eyes narrowed. "And if we refuse?" Axiom's expression remained impassive. "Then you will bear witness to power beyond your comprehension. Our entropy cascade device will reduce your homeworld to its constituent atoms. Your species will be but a memory, a cautionary tale for those who dare to upset the cosmic balance." As the transmission ended, Alina turned to her crew. "Options." Lieutenant Chen spoke up. "Commander, we've analyzed the energy readings from their flagship. There's a massive power buildup. Whatever this weapon is, it's real." Alina's mind worked furiously. They couldn't let that weapon fire, but a frontal assault on the flagship would be suicide. Suddenly, an idea struck her. It was risky, perhaps even foolhardy, but it was their only chance. "All hands, prepare for quantum displacement," she ordered. "We're jumping directly into the enemy flagship." Her crew looked at her in shock, but quickly moved to comply. They had followed her through countless battles. They would follow her now, even into the jaws of death itself. As the enemy weapon reached critical levels, the Titan vanished in a flash of quantum energy. It reappeared seconds later, materializing partially inside the Zarkin flagship. The resulting spatial distortion tore through both ships, alarms blaring as systems failed catastrophically. "All power to weapons," Alina shouted over the chaos. "Target their weapon systems and fire everything we've got." The Titan unleashed its full arsenal, its weapons tearing through the enemy ship's interior. The entropy cascade device destabilized, the resulting implosion consuming a significant portion of the enemy fleet. In the confusion that followed, the Allied forces pressed their advantage. Ships that had been on the verge of defeat found new resolve, pushing back against their attackers with renewed vigor. As the tide of battle turned, Alina realized that the Titan was in critical condition. The quantum jump had overtaxed its systems, and the damage from the spatial distortion was catastrophic. "All hands, abandon ship," she ordered, her heart heavy. The Titan had been more than just a vessel. It had been a symbol of humanity's ingenuity and determination. As escape pods jettisoned from the dying ship, Alina remained on the bridge, coordinating the evacuation and continuing to direct the battle. She would not leave until every last crew member was safe. The Allied fleet, inspired by the Titan's sacrifice, fought with unprecedented coordination and valor. One by one, enemy ships fell or retreated, unable to stand against the combined might of a united galaxy. Hours later, as the last enemy vessels fled, Alina found herself aboard a Luminar cruiser, watching as the Titan finally succumbed to its wounds, breaking apart in a brilliant flash of light. The victory had come at a great cost, but as reports flooded in from across the battlefield, the true magnitude of their accomplishment became clear. The Eternal Concordat had been broken, its centuries-long manipulation of galactic affairs exposed and defeated. The Zarkin Empire, its military might shattered, sued for peace. In the days that followed, Alina stood once again before the Galactic Council. But this time, there was no division, no suspicion in the eyes of the delegates. Instead, she was met with respect, admiration, and a newfound sense of unity. High Counselor Zarthak, his voice filled with genuine emotion, addressed the assembly. "We stand here today not as separate species, but as a united galaxy. The conflict we have endured has shown us that our strength lies not in isolation, but in cooperation. And for this lesson, we owe a great debt to humanity and to Commander Alina Rodriguez." As applause filled the chamber, Alina stepped forward. "Thank you, High Counselor. But the credit does not belong to humanity alone. Every species represented here played a crucial role in our victory. We have proven that together, we can overcome any challenge, any threat." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembled delegates. "The road ahead will not be easy. There is much to rebuild, much to heal. But I have faith that the bonds we have forged in battle will only grow stronger in peace. Let this be the dawn of a new era, one of cooperation, exploration, and shared prosperity." As the council session concluded, Alina found herself looking out at the stars, much as she had when the Titan first arrived at the council headquarters. So much had changed since then. Earth had found its place in the galactic community, not through dominance, but through partnership and shared sacrifice. The Juggernaut program, once a closely guarded secret, would now serve as the foundation for a new joint defense force. Earth's technology, combined with the unique abilities and insights of their alien allies, would help to usher in an unprecedented age of peace and discovery. As Alina contemplated the future, she felt a sense of both accomplishment and anticipation. They had faced the crucible of war and emerged stronger, more united. Now, the true adventure was just beginning. The galaxy stretched out before them, vast and full of wonders yet to be discovered. And humanity, standing shoulder to shoulder with their new allies, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The age of isolation was over. The age of unity had begun.